Kia ora, lovely Cancers. This is your reading. We're doing things a little bit differently today. We've got this full moon in October on the 20th, which is potentially a pretty powerful time. A lot of explosive things going on. Quite specific, sort of warrior-like planetary alignments as well. So of course the seeds that you planted on this just new moon that's passed, and your intentions, I guess if you're working with the moon cycles, this will be on the 20th of October. It's a full moon in Aries. It will be a really potent period on either side of it, I feel. So anyway, so today we're going to do a general view of October, November and December. So we're heading toward the end of the year for you, Cancer. Remember, these are really general readings. Do check out, and they're not necessarily going to either resonate or not resonate. And also check out, if you know where your ascendant, Moon, Venus and Jupiter are, check those readings out too. Also, the sort of nature of this kind of read is that it is something that you can come back to at a later date, just to see if it relates. If it relates at this point, it may well not later on, or vice versa, if that made sense. So here I am. I'm in managed isolation. I've only got a few days left, hence my lack of being able to upload over the last month, because I've sort of been in transit. Pretty potentially, edgy times, isn't it, for many people at the moment. So anyway, we've laid your cards out. We've already got 3 cards face down that I'll pull out at the end, which are Kim Cran's Animal card, my own Journey Map card from that deck, and a little Harlequin and Star card as well. So they're face down. I don't know what they are. Okay, let us begin, Cancer. We start out in October. We've got 2 cards that came out for October. We have the beautiful, in the Thoth deck, you can see it. It's like a display of those amazing old jellies, isn't it? Those jelly molds. The 3 of Cups, a card of celebrating with people, of really enjoying company. Depending on where you are in the world, I say we have 2 cards coming out for October. So we have this glorious, obviously Cups. It's an emotional, it's an emotionally bountiful card, and there's a definite understanding in this card that we understand the value of friendship, of the ability, to be able to enjoy other people, to be able to socialize, get together. So depending on where you are in the world or what your situation is, the second card that came out is the Tower. Now, it could be that your associations with people have brought you new information, which often they do, don't they? I mean, we learn a lot from other people. We get different insights from other people. It can be a cracking and an opening of a new perspective when we are sharing and discussion and things of that nature. I see the Tower in this sense, actually, today with your 3 of Cups here as well. It's either something about a lack of social contact has given you quiet time, and not necessarily chosen quiet time, but quiet time that's allowed you to explore different aspects of your own psyche, or the way that you perceive the world around you, the way that you see yourself. I see this, Cancer. So let's continue into November, where we have the oh, what was that? What was that? Another card was under. I didn't even see that. So we had the Chariot, which I always think of as a Cancerian crab, the beautiful chariot coming out of the seas of Binah, these primordial waters, with this idea that form, that you're bringing something into form very quickly. The funny thing is I picked this off the table, and what was behind it, I didn't even know. We have the card of Libra, the card of balance and equilibrium. We have adjustment in the Thoth deck. It is called adjustment. It is the Justice card. Something in here, there's possibly been a stalling through, maybe at this current time or through October, a kind of a slight dampening of your ability to, I think there's works, I think for some Cancer out there, your work, God, it just came in and flew out. There's something about the current time of October where your ability to actually work, I mean, I know a lot of people, have had to work from home or have lost their jobs or whatever, but this is not so much that. It's that the current environment for you over October, you rely on, it's like someone in the arts, or you rely on social contact, like networking. You rely on that for your work. So I do get that quite strongly for some Cancer out there, and do remember these readings are incredibly general. So you rely on social contact for your, work, for your creative movement. And I think through October this has been slightly compromised, I guess is the word. Anyway, anywho, so we're in November. We get this works in motion. Things will start to balance out, move a lot more quickly. Because if you've had a particular goal, a particular deadline possibly, it's all going to kind of work out pretty well for you with these two cards here, Cancer. So that's a good thing. We will go through and clarify, I think, as I said before. And as we head into December, who pops up but the Devil? Now, the Devil in the Thoth deck is primarily about enjoying every aspect of this life. The material world. It's a Capricornian card. A Saturn card, isn't it? We enjoy every aspect. Food, entertainment, other people, nature, everything. The stars at night. Everything about this physical world. And I do get that feeling that you're back in your comfort zone in some ways by December. There's just a little bit of a glitch happening this month. Could be quite specific for someone out there. And then by December, you're fully, launching yourself back into whether it be social activity, certainly works, whatever they are for you. Anyway, let's just go through and clarify, and we might just get a bit more on this story for Cancer. We're looking at October. just hear that. You know, don't be disheartened, we reap. I mean, it's that old saying or that cliche, you know, we reap what we sow. We reap what we sow. I think we have justice coming out. Justice for this period in October. Yeah, look, so quickly the narrative can change, can't it? Actually, the narrative of our own life can change very quickly. And I don't know whether you've noticed it. I'm sure you have, Cancers out there, that at this current time there's a lot of friction. I mean, we can focus on whatever we choose to focus on, of course, but this is I mean, collectively, individually, we live on this planet, we're part of this planet, this world, and what's going on obviously at the moment. There is a lot of friction, there's a lot of I mean, collectively we are going through a tower moment, aren't we? I suppose I'm just, you know, with justice coming out here, in reaping what you sow, you know, it's kind of like you know, we can choose to look at something as being very calamitous for us, or we can see it as a challenge to initiate new ways of seeing things, new ways of doing things, and the value in that, the value in being able to shift our own personal narrative, if that's the way you want to look at it, or our own scripts, our stories. I do see this sort of turning into that with the Justice card coming out, with the Three of Cups and the Tower for you, Cancer. I think this is an amazing achievement because it would indicate a level of mastery within your own mind and actually within your own emotional landscape. We go into November with, I mean, we get justice twice, you know. So November, justice was behind the Chariot. I think there's an evening out. You know, when people talk about finding their true north, it seems to be a popular thing. It's North Node, isn't it? You know, South Node's what you kind of is past those things that we try and work through and not sort of repeat the North Node. Okay, so our challenge is, you know, it'd be quite good to look at your North and South nodes in your astrological chart. We talk about heading north. We're evolving through our life. We're heading north, our true north. I do see this with that Chariot just being propelled out of those primordial waters of Binah in order to, in a completely balanced way, in order to make new form from thought and balance and consideration. I think this is whether it's personal, whether it's in your personal life or your external world, I think you've been challenged, Cancer, to really go with what you truly feel is right for you, and not just to pay bills Not just to survive, but to thrive. Anyway, so I'm shuffling away here. Can we get a clarifying card for the Chariot? Oh, for the Chariot, please. Look, and I think there are many options at this time. In November is when you're really going through your options here. We get the Seven of Cups coming out, which is always an interesting card. This could be slightly overwhelming in November. We were talking about heading true north and all of that. We have the Seven of Cups, which in this case I think is just allowing you to imagine and to see all of these options. You could say sport for choice, which is really good, but it means that sometimes it's hard to work through all these options to figure out which is really truly what you would choose at this time. But once you've done that, because we can see that as being a burden in itself, I think once you've done that, you've this analogy came up in some other reading. I think it was Aries, the listing ship. It's as if you've been listing for a while, and now you write yourself in November that the ship becomes completely balanced on that sea. And it's about these options and making a decision, because there's a lot. You've got a lot here. It's fertile, it's fecund, it's just all those F words that I'm hearing. This releases some burden. You see it actually initially as a burden, and then it's like as soon as it's that shifting perspective thing, Cancer, but then you see that having these options in fact isn't a burden at all. It's like a sniff of freedom, Let's have a look. December, where we see the Devil. Let's see. So we must choose, something that's rich and meaningful for you in all of your options, dear Cancer. So we're looking at the Devil in December, enjoying everything, all the riches that life, has to offer. And in doing that, there is an element of letting loose here, of just letting yourself, going with your truth, going true north, but letting yourself go a little bit. To fully enjoy. There's a word for it. Corporeal, corpus, something about corporeal. I'll have to look that up, but the really meaty elements of life, something about enjoying the real nitty-gritty of what life has to offer you, is the key here, because what that is going to do for you. And don't be, I just get this Cancer that's a little bit hesitant, a little bit shy maybe, to enjoy, to just go off on your tangents in order to get to this place where you figure out there's a large experimental element through the next few months for you, whether that's in work, whether it's about trying different things in order to find the thing that works for you, whether that's about work, play, relationships, whatever it is, Cancer. But we get to December. We're encouraged to enjoy everything, and it may well be the case that things open up a little bit for you if you're in a place that's in lockdown at the moment. it might be that things open up and you really, really get a chance to sort of spread your wings. In the process of doing this is where you actually connect on a very conscious level with your internal guidance system, your intuitive radar. This could be quite specific for someone out there, but in the process of going through, experimental stuff with shifting your perspective, shifting your narrative, shifting your scripts, really picking those things apart and just going, okay, I'm going to enjoy what I can enjoy fully. All of this is actually bringing you closer to this high priestess. You might find out things. You might have insights into where you've been before many moons ago, if you believe in past lives, you may have insight into certain things which have carried through into this life. Whatever your belief system here is, or your beliefs are, but what this enjoyment of the physical world will give you is interestingly an insight into your own internal guidance system. And this comes as a bit of it may come as a little bit of a sudden thing for you, a sudden surprise. It could come in the form of another individual in your life at the same time in December as well, because we have the Knight of Wands coming out with it, Cancer. Now we know the Knight of Wands to be a very impulsive, very passionate, fast-moving knight who in herself, non-gendered here, is very experimental, is not afraid to, is certainly not shy, and is not afraid to just get out there and try a lot of different things. This is an interesting reading. I'm just going to use the Brian Froud Pixie and Fairy Oracle to get another element to this. So I also get a thing initially, that in the past, and again this be quite specific for someone here, in the past, you've always, I just get this, you've always done what you thought was the best and the right thing to do. Your intentions have always been true, but that doesn't mean that over time these desires and intentions change. It doesn't mean you're not being true to yourself, Cancer. Pixie and Fairy, please, for October. Yeah, we're getting, Cancer, we're getting a couple of cards. Oh, wow, beautiful. Sorry, we've got one on the ground. Let's see. And actually, this character has been coming out a little bit. We get Mike the Micromancer. We're weighing things up here. This gal sees the detail in the detail of the detail in the detailing. But at the same time, in combination with that, sees the entire picture. So this is about balance, it's about ledgers, it's about weighing, adding, measuring things out, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Nothing gets past this character. Knowing what to get rid of what to keep, what to cut back on, what's the healthiest option. Look, it's interesting because we get the bright mother, which is a wonderful card, similar to the High Priestess, really. High voltage intuition. It's like, it's all about the creative force. It's all about the creative force. It's not so much about physically cutting things back or planting anything per se, but it's all about the guiding light, the creative force, if that makes sense to you, Cancer. Interesting. Interesting. We head to November, Pixies and Fairies. Yeah, and because of all your options here, because, you know, you're in movement in terms of moving along, choosing this, choosing that, seeing what works here, what doesn't work there. Your options have expanded to the degree that there is always at these times a bit of stopping, a bit of starting. We have the fifth-footer, which is about, you know, see his little legs, like they're not fully always on the ground at once. It's sort of like an intermittent thing for a period of time. And I do see that when you've got all of these options, you're trying to achieve this balance and equilibrium. And so it's understandable that your energy's up and down, on and off, all of this kind of stuff, Cancer. Now let's look at December, where through just pure physical enjoyment of life, you have some epiphanies. You have epiphanies. Got a couple of cards here that just popped out. I'll just get one more, I think. For Cancer, please, if we can. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you have some epiphanies with the High Priestess and this Knight. Whether it be a character aspect of yourself, but I think it's another person, actually. So to clarify that, enjoying the earthy delights of life, we have a celebration. It's like you've been set free of something here, set free actually from your own limitations of your own mind, Cancer, maybe of your own emotions. This process of letting loose, allowing things to open up, which appear to, with a review in October and a cracking open, appear to just escalate towards into the end of December. So there's a celebration of this. We also have the Journeyman, which is the Fool. It is the Fool, stepping off on a new journey. It may well be with someone else. I mean that in terms of relationships, Cancer. It may well be with someone. We have a card of connection here. It is called ecstasies, as in ecstasy. It's a magnetic electrical connection, creating a form that very, very much so takes flight here. There's movement. There's not only movement between you and your intuitive guidance, going backwards and forwards, new info coming through. There's movement I do feel in your choices, in your emotional capabilities, and movement quite potentially with someone else. So this is pretty interesting. I will pull these cards that are face down that I pulled out at the beginning. I haven't seen them yet, so we'll pull the journey map card first. We get what is a very Cancerian card to me, Fortuna. This is about a little bit of grit. What does a pearl need? That can't even come into form unless there's a little bit of grit. And all the time it takes for such a beautiful, iridescent object to come into form. And it all started with a shaking up and a little bit of grit, my friends. Beautiful, very pertinent. Oh, there's a wee birdie flying over. The Harlequin and Star cards, we have Commit to Yourself, Central Intelligence. Do you have equal compassion for yourself as you do for others? I think you're taking that on for yourself, Cancer, over the next few months. I think this is your directive, and what assists you is going to benefit others also in your world. Animal spirit, for you beautiful Cancer, we get the crow. Really taking this world on, holding it, enjoying it, feeling its dimensions, feeling all of its dimensions. It's beautiful. With a large level of wisdom learnt. So lovely, Cancer. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back on a more regular basis with the usual new moon, full moon readings as we venture on through into November and December. So do stay tuned and like, share and subscribe. It really helps me to keep this going. So take care. Batten down the hatches or pull out the sails for this full moon on the 20th of October in Aries. It's going to be a bit of a blast, I think. Okay, take care, Cancer. Bye.